A very good morning to everyone. And now we will discuss another important topic. Already we have started the factors affecting on the rate of reaction. In that first factor, effect of concentration. So far we have discussed that one only. And the second factor affects on the rate of reaction is the temperature. So now we will see effect of temperature on rate of reaction. Temperature effect. Generally, if we increase the temperature of a reaction, the rate will increase, but how much time the rate will increase, that we can calculate by using one term that is called temperature coefficient. Here we will use one terminology, temperature coefficient, to identify the rate change. And this temperature coefficient is the ratio of rate constant at two different temperatures, and the temperature should be defined by 10 degrees or 10 kelvins. Is called temperature coefficient. So you can define like this: the ratio between rate constants of a reaction at different temperatures. Which are defined by degrees Celsius or 10 Kelvin, whatever it is, either degrees Celsius or Kelvin. The change is always same in terms of degrees Celsius and Kelvins. So it is called temperature coefficient. Means we can write like this: the temperature coefficient is equals to rate constant at a temperature T plus 10 degrees by rate constant at a temperature T. So they are differed by 10 degrees centigrade. So the ratio of, so T10 plus 10 and KT is temperature coefficient. And this temperature coefficient value for most of the reaction is in the order of 2 to 3. You can see this will be falls in the region of 2 to 3 for most of the reaction. But we will take most of the cases this is 2. That means the rate of reaction increases 2 times when the temperature of the reaction increases by 10 degree rise. The temperature changes 10 degree rise, the rate of reaction increases 2 times for most of the cases, but it is varies in between 2 to 3. You can take one more statement here. For most of the reactions, for every 10 degree rise, of temperature, for every 10 degree rise of temperature, rate constant or rate of a reaction, rate of the reaction increases by 2 times. You can take a rate of the reaction or rate constant, anyone. Rate constant, or because rate constant is directly proportional to rate of the reaction in a first order reactions case. So increases by 2 times. But in general 2 to 3. You can take any one. That is temperature coefficient. Let us see one basic question here. We will see one question here. In a reaction, this is the question. In a reaction, for every 10 degree rise in temperature, rate of the reaction increases by 2 times. Then if you change the temperature from 30 to 80 degrees Celsius, how many times the rate will change? Means how many times the rate will increase. So for every 10 degrees 2 times, but here 30 to 80 degrees Celsius, how many times the rate will increase? So how many 10 times here? 5 times are there. 5 into 10, 50. The temperature change here is 50 degrees Celsius. So this we can write 5 into 10 means 5 times it will change. You can write 2 power 5 times. So rate change. So you have to write 5 times of 2. 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, that will give 2 power 5 times. So this many times the rate will increase. So means 32 times almost. So if you increase the temperature from 30 to 80 degrees centigrade, the rate will increases by 32 times. Let me take one more question here similarly. Here rate change or rate of reaction increases. By 3 times instead of 2 times, 3 times for each 10 degree raise. Then if you change the temperature from 35 to 65, and how many times the rate will increase? So rate of reaction increases by 3 times for each 10 degree raise. Now the temperature changes from 35 to 65. Then rate of reaction increases by how many times? How much, Nanan? So here 3 power 3 times. That can give 27 times. Rate constant of a reaction at 300 kelvins is some 2 into 10 power 5 second inverse. Then what is the rate constant? Rate constant of a reaction at 290 Kelvin is, you have given the rate constant of a reaction at 300 Kelvin. Then what is the rate constant of a reaction at 290 Kelvin? Here temperature coefficient you have given is 3. Temperature coefficient is 3. Temperature coefficient means for each 10 degree raise the temperature change. How to do for this? A rate constant at 300 by rate constant at 290 is equals to 3, and they gave it rate constant at 300. We have to find out at rate constant 290. So now the rate constant at 290 is equals to 2 into 10 power minus 5 by 3. Second inverse. That's it. That is the answer. That is, rate of reaction can be explained by collision theory. So first we will discuss about collision theory here. And this collision theory is very important for board level. They will ask you the question, explain about the collision theory, the points, important postulates you have to write there. Anyhow, some important points about this collision theory. According to collision theory, to occur any chemical reaction, collisions are required. So, without a collision, there is no formation of product. That is the first point. And here among all collisions, bimolecular collisions are effective. Bimolecular collisions means where two reactants involve. If involvement of more than two reactants, in that case the formation of product, the probability is very less. So, bimolecular collisions are very effective in nature, that can lead to the product formation. This is also very important. So, here collision theory, so mainly will focus on bimolecular collisions. Bimolecular collisions, these only effective in nature. Ternary quaternary molecules will not undergo effective collisions. So, you can write the postulates here. For occurring a chemical reaction, collision between reactant molecules is compulsory. Collision between reactant molecules is compulsory. If there is no collision and there is no formation of the product, so you cannot identify the rate change here. And the second point, anyhow the reactant molecules can undergo collision, but here all collisions will not lead to the product formation. So, out of all collisions, only few of the collisions can undergo the product formation, and those collisions are called effective collisions or fruitful collisions. So, we can use one word here, effective collisions or fruitful collisions. So, what is the meaning of effective collisions? Among all collisions, the collisions which are responsible for the product formation are called fruitful collisions. Collisions which are responsible for product formation. Anyhow, all fruitful collisions can give the product formation. But apart from these fruitful collisions, the molecule should have the minimum amount of energy to form the product, and that energy should have the minimum amount of energy the molecule carrying is called threshold energy. So, that means to overcome the attractive forces or repulsion forces between the reactant molecules, they should reach some high energy state, mostly that we can call transition state. To reach that transition state, and each and every molecule should possess some a minimum amount of energy. That minimum amount of energy is called threshold energy. We will use one word here, threshold energy. So, what is the threshold energy? In order to form a product, reactant molecules must possess some minimum amount of energy. And the molecules which are having this minimum amount of energy, they only can form that transition state, and they can form the product. And the molecules which are not having this threshold energy are called normal molecules, and to convert that normal molecules into product, we have to apply or we have to supply some sufficient energy to get this minimum threshold energy. The extra energy needed to get this threshold energy is called activation energy. So, here we will use another word, activation energy. Activation energy. So, this is the externally supplied energy to reach the threshold energy or to get that minimum threshold energy is called activation energy. Inside is the additional amount of energy. Additional amount of energy supplied to the, so generally this activation energy will represent with the symbol EA, activation energy. So, your activation energy EA is equals to threshold energy of the molecule, threshold energy minus average energy of the molecules or energy of the normal molecules. Each molecule contains some energy that we can internally, internal energy or enthalpies, already we have discussed at the time of thermodynamics. So, that is called average energy. Each molecule possesses some energy, some kinetic energy or potential energy, sum of all energies, that is the average energy of a normal molecule. So, each molecule they have some normal average energy, and that average energy to reach to convert into the product, they required some minimum energy to attain the threshold energy. So, whatever the energy we are supplying to reach the threshold energy is called activation energy. Okay, next, and then to form the product having fruitful collisions and having threshold energy, and this is not only the sufficient, and apart from this they should have the proper orientation, that is called probability factor or orientation factor. Orientation factor. So, molecules which undergo collision in a proper orientation only leads to the product formation. Even though they are having sufficient energy, fruitful collisions, if the orientation is not proper, so that will not lead to the product formation. Okay. So, reactant molecule with proper orientation and molecule with improper orientation, they will not form the products. So, what it means orientation factor or proper orientation? Let us take one example. Here we have a molecule AB is undergoing dissociation, and let us assume it is forming A2 and B2. Okay. And here these two AB molecule should undergo a proper bimolecular collision, and to get the fruitful collisions, and they should have the sufficient energy, that is the threshold energy, and after that proper orientation. Let us take the AB molecule like and B, and if these two molecules can undergo collision, they can form one activated complex. This is a complex transition state we can say, or activated complex. So, there is no complete formation of the bond or complete breaking of the bonds, no complete bond formation and bond breaking or bond making is called activated complex or transition state. And after that complete bond breaking and bond making can take place, and this AA will combine, they will give the A2 molecule, and BB they will combine and they will form B2 molecules. Like this we will get A2 and B2 when two AB molecules can undergo a collision in a proper orientation manner. So, instead if I take the collision in this manner, and this is A and this is B, and next this is B and this is A. Now, you make a collisions in this direction, then what happens? First they will form an activated complex, and this is B and this is A and this is B and this is A. Now, in this case what happens? There is a bond breaking and bond making takes place between this AB and this AB again, and they will give the molecule A, B, and below we will get B and A. You will get the product like this. See the previous case, again you will get here the reactant back AB, AB. There is no formation of product. So here there is a proper orientation, but here orientation is not proper. The orientation is not proper, that also will not lead to the product formation. So apart from the fruitful collisions and having sufficient threshold energy, and they should have the proper orientation, then only they lead to the product formation. So overall we can take the rate of reaction now depends on all these factors. So rate of reaction you can write like this, rate of reaction is equals to, it depends on the probability factor, the orientation factor generally will represent with P, and effective collisions, and this one, and the number of molecules which cross the threshold energy, that will represent with symbol F, into order of concentration of the reactants, also concentration, power, order, this already we have discussed. And this is a overall rate of reaction depends on these overall factors. So from this you compare the previous rate equation, generally we have rate is equals to some rate constant into concentration, power, order. Now you compare these two equations, then you can write rate constant K is equals to P into ZAB into F. So where P indicates the probability factor or orientation factor, and P is the orientation factor, or we can say probability factor. Or orientation factor. And it will use the information about the orientation of molecules, in what way the molecules are colliding, which gives information about direction of collision. That is the probability factor. And next is Z. For two reactant molecule you can take ZAB or Z for simply, and this is a collision frequency. Means how many molecules are undergoing collision, fruitful collisions. So which can give the information about number of collisions. Made by all molecules in 1 second. In 1 second. That is a collision frequency. Next we have one more F. This is called fraction of molecules. F generally we can write like this. F can be taken as e power minus EA by RT. F is equals to, and this is a fraction of molecules. Fraction of molecules having kinetic energy more than activation energy. More than activation energy. Now you can write overall. Anyhow, your probability factor and effective collisions can be write like this. Now rate constant K is equals to the product of P and ZB can taken as A, and F is e power minus EA by RT. And this rate constant, this is called Arrhenius equation, where A is equals to P into Z. This is a constant. This we can explain graphically. Let me take. Here energy barrier diagram or energy profile diagram. Or we can say energy profile diagram. According to that collision theory, I can write one diagram. And this is the energy curve, and this is the reaction progress on the x axis. Initially we have somewhere here reactant and here products. This is the reactant and this is the product. Now to convert these reactants into product, first one, there should be collisions occur. Collisions is compulsory. If there is no collision, there is no formation of product. Apart from that, the collision, the reactants, the molecule should have minimum energy to cross the energy barrier. That is called minimum energy, threshold energy. Why that minimum energy? Initially the reactant molecules are having some strong attractive forces, and to first we have to break that molecules. So to break that molecules, we have to supply some energy externally, then these molecules will gain that energy and they will reach into the high energy state. So they should reach the maximum energy state. So let us assume this is a maximum energy barrier, and this state we can call transition state. So to reach this transition state, the reactant molecule should possess some minimum energy. So this overall energy we can call threshold energy, this one. So here to here, this is called threshold energy. So this is the energy required to overcome the attractive or repulsive forces, whatever it is. So after reaching this maximum energy state, the reactant molecule, there is a chance it may come back to the reactant state or it may go to the formation of product. Like this, after collisions, it will enter into the high energy state, transition state, or we can say there is an activated complex state. There is no complete formation or complete breakage of the bonds, no complete bond breaking and bond making. So partial bond breaking and partial bond making can take place. This is a theoretical state, we cannot calculate experimentally the transition state, the theoretical approach. And this energy, threshold energy, means what? Initially each and every reactant, they have some energy, kinetic energy, that we can say average energy. The normal molecule at its original ground state, we can say this is the ground state. So the reactant molecules in the ground state, they are having some average kinetic energy. So to reach this threshold energy, we have to supply some minimum amount of energy. What is that a minimum amount of energy here? So we have somewhere here, so we require this much amount of minimum energy to reach this transition state, and this energy we can call activation energy. So this is the energy supplied externally to reach this threshold energy is called activation energy. So once the molecule will get this activation energy, they can cross this energy barrier, or this they can cross the transition state to form the product formation. And this is overall energy profile diagram. So other profile diagrams for exothermic and endothermic reactions. Here one reaction, it is giving the product. It may here heat may evolve or heat may release. Take reactant somewhere here and a product here, like this. And this is the product and this is the reactant. Energy, reaction progress, and this is the maximum energy. This state is called transition state, and the overall energy to reach this transition state is called threshold energy. This is the threshold energy. And to reach this maximum energy barrier, we have to supply some minimum energy, that is called activation energy. Here to here. This is activation energy. Here reactant is converting into the product, but sometime product may be converted into the reactant also, and we can take another, and this is also the activation energy. Again, both the case threshold energy is the same for both reactants and products. The threshold, the transition state is the same, but activation energies are different. Here activation energy for forward reaction we can say, why? Because we are moving the reactant to product, but in this case the activation energy is required is called activation energy for backward reaction, and transition, this threshold energy constant. Here you can see the difference between the energy possessed by the reactant and product molecules here to here. The average energy possessed by the reactant, the average energy possessed by the product, and that is called enthalpy change. This is the value enthalpy delta H. So you can write one formula here, delta H is equals to enthalpy, energy nothing but here enthalpy of products minus enthalpy of reactant. Already this we have discussed in the time of thermochemistry, and we can derive one more formula. So how can we calculate this delta H? See this diagram, this is the energy of activation backward and energy of the activation forward. Forward minus backward, again you take the difference, again you will get enthalpy change here. So in this reaction delta H is equals to energy of forward minus energy of backward. Activation energy for backward reaction and activation energy for forward reaction. So in this particular diagram you can see clearly forward reaction activation energy is very less compared to activation energy for backward reaction, and those values if you substitute here, and here activation energy is less forward and backward is more, so resultant value will get negative. So delta H is negative means, and this graph represents exothermic reaction, and this is the exothermic reaction graph. Isn't it? Next, second type of graph. So just a very basic question. Just show the formula delta H equal to activation energy of forward reaction minus activation energy of the backward reaction. So delta H is given, that is minus 20, and here forward reaction is given 85, backward reaction we have to calculate. So what it is, activation energy of backward reaction is equal to 105. You see one more question here, question number 2. For a reaction the rate constant is expressed as K is equals to A into e power minus 40,000 by T. Then calculate EA, activation energy. What is activation energy for this reaction? How to do here? Solution. Just you compare this equation with Arrhenius equation. We have the Arrhenius equation. K is equals to A into e power minus EA by RT. So in place of minus EA by R, what we have? Minus 40,000. So now we can calculate EA value. From this, EA is equals to 40,000 times of gas constant R. So what is R value here? Depends, whatever the option they give. If they give the answer in terms of the joules, you can use the joules, 8.314, and if the option is given in terms of calories, you can go with approximately R equal to 2 calories. So accordingly you can take the R value. The rate constant of a reaction at a temperature 200 Kelvin is 10 times less than the temperature than the rate constant at 400 Kelvin. Calculate activation energy. The rate constant of a reaction at a temperature 200 Kelvin is given that 10 times less than the rate constant at 400 Kelvin. Then what is the activation energy for that particular reaction? So how to do this question? Simple. Still. So your log of K2 by K1 is equals to EA by 2.303 R, 1 by T1, 1 by 200 minus 1 by T2, 400. What is the K2 by K1? High temperature, the 10 times less. So log 10 means 1 is equals to this one. Just you can 2.303 R into this 400 minus 200, 200 by 200 into 400. As you can simplify, 400 into 2, 2.3, approximately you will get 920. So that can give EA is equals to 921 times of gas constant R. So R, if they give in terms of calories, you can take 2 again. If they use in terms of joules, you can take 8.314. Okay, then remaining tomorrow class we will see one more effect of catalyst. So that we will discuss in the next class. So we can stop the class here. Reactant and a product. Again, a reactant to convert into the product, they should attain some minimum energy to reach this transition state. Again, this is a energy, is a reaction progress. This is a transition state. Again the same, this energy is called threshold energy. And this energy here to here. This activation energy for forward reaction. Again here, this is the activation energy for backward reaction. Again these values, if you apply in the same formula, delta H is equals to activation energy of forward reaction minus activation energy of backward reaction, and this is the value. Delta H means there is a difference between products and reactants. This is delta H, enthalpy change. A forward reaction, here activation energy is more for forward and less for backward. So, resultant we will get anyhow positive value only. So, positive value means heat is absorbed in this reaction. We can say this is the graph for endothermic reaction. This is for endothermic. Simply, if the reactants are having high energy state and products are low energy state, we can say exothermic in nature. If the reactants are at low energy state and products are at high energy state, that is the endothermic reaction graphs. And from this we can calculate the delta H. These formulas are important. Delta H, whether it is endothermic reaction or exothermic reaction, does not matter. The formula is delta H is equals to activation energy of forward reaction minus activation energy of the backward reaction. So, from this we can calculate the enthalpy change, or if they give the enthalpy change, we can calculate activation energy for forward or backward reactions. So, now we will see Arrhenius equation. This is also very important. So many times questions are asked from this Arrhenius equation. Arrhenius equation. So, mainly to explain the temperature effect on the rate of reaction, we will use this Arrhenius equation, that is K is equals to A into e power minus EA by RT, and this is Arrhenius equation, where K, anyhow we know that, just you can write the parameters here, where K is a rate constant, or velocity constant, or specific rate. Already we have discussed this. And A is called a frequency factor or pre-exponential factor or Arrhenius factor. We can say it is as Arrhenius factor or frequency factor or pre-exponential factor. Why? Because it is a before to the exponential term, and it is called pre-exponential factor. Pre-exponential factor. So, this terminology is also very important. They will ask you what is A is called in this Arrhenius equation, what K is called. So, remember Nana. Next, e power minus EA by RT, what it is? This is a fraction of molecules that can cross the energy barrier diagram, or fraction of molecules which are having activation kinetic energy more than the activation energy. Fraction of molecules having kinetic energy more than activation energy. Activation energy E. And here A and activation energy together we can call Arrhenius parameters, and this is also called e power minus EA by RT, Boltzmann factor. It is called Boltzmann factor, and A and EA together are called Arrhenius parameters. They are together called Arrhenius parameters. So, these are the words involved here. K is equals to A into e power minus EA by RT. So, we can draw a graph with respect to rate constant versus temperature. Again, graphs are very important here. Rate constant K versus temperature. What type of graph we will get? See, as the temperature increases here, if the temperature increases, you reach the temperature to maximum, infinity. You are increasing the temperature, keep on up to infinity. Then K is equals to, what will get the K value? So if you put the temperature infinity value here, you will get e power minus Ea by infinity means e power 0. E power 0 means 1. So K equal to A. So means the maximum rate constant value, this is called maximum rate constant. Maximum rate constant value is A. When temperature reaches to the infinity, the rate constant reaches to the Arrhenius factor, that is a pre-exponential factor A. So the maximum value for K is A. So it can, let us assume this is a maximum point for A. So then if you increase the temperature, the K value increases ultimately, but this is exponential, not the linear curve. You can see the graph like this, you will get a kind of graph. So but it will reach the maximum A only, it will not go beyond A. So this kind of the graph you can observe rate constant versus temperature. And this is also very important. And next, that Arrhenius equation we can convert further into the logarithmic form. Now you apply the log both sides. This you can convert ln K is equals to ln of A plus ln of e power minus Ea by RT. So here ln base E and this E, they will cancel out, you will get minus Ea by ART. You can write directly ln of K is equals to ln of A minus Ea by RT, and this is another form of Arrhenius equation. And to convert the ln into the log, you can multiply with 2.303. Further you can convert that ln into the logarithmic form. Then log K is equals to, and this will become as log A minus Ea by 2.303 RT, and this is another form of the Arrhenius equation. Again, for these two equations we have the graphical representation, and those graphs also very important. Again, you can draw a graph like this, and the two graphs here. One is a rate constant like ln K versus 1 by T, and the second graph instead of ln, now we will take log K versus 1 by T. If you take ln K versus 1 by T, it is a graph like y equal to minus mx. So you will get the negative slope in the graph, and we have some intercept is ln A, and slope of this graph, slope is equals to minus Ea by R. And if you draw a graph with respect to log, again the same, negative slope y equal to minus x, and where the intercept is log A and the slope is minus Ea by 2.303 R. And this is very important. When you draw a graph ln K versus 1 by T, what is the slope, what is the intercept, and what is the slope? Is it log or ln? This is very important. And when you draw a graph with respect to log K versus 1 by T, what is the slope and what is the intercept? Intercept here is log and intercept here is ln A. And in the first case, slope is minus Ea by R only, but second case the slope is minus Ea by 2.303 R. And this is also very important. So effect of temperature. how temperature affects at two temperature conditions, how the rate constant will change, that we can derive one relation here. Let us assume at the temperature T1 rate constant is K1, and at a temperature T2 rate constant is K2, where T2 is greater than T1, just we assume. So, from the Arrhenius equation, first you write log K2 or ln, let me take either ln or log. First we will go with ln, we will write the two formulas here. Ln of K2 or ln of K1, let me take first, let me write this. We will take one by one. So, ln of K1 is equals to ln A anyhow it is constant only, the value will not change, minus EA by RT1. This is equation 1. Similarly, at a temperature T2 ln K2, this we can write as ln A minus EA by R T2. Let us assume equation 2. Now you subtract equation 1 from 2, 2 minus 1, that can give ln of K2 minus ln of K1 is equals to, anyhow both the case ln A is the same, they will cancel out, and what left, minus EA by RT2 minus of minus plus EA by RT1. From this ln of K2 by K1 is equals to, you can take EA common out, EA by R you can take as a common, then 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2, and this is the Arrhenius equation at two temperature conditions. And if you change the temperature, how the rate constant will change, we can calculate by using this formula. Or else further, if you convert this ln into logarithmic form, so log of K2 by K1 is equals to EA by 2.303 or 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2, and this is another form. So, these formulas can give the effect of temperature with respect to temperature, how the rate constant will change, you can calculate here. Let us see questions here. For a reaction